The stuff in the sky being sprayed on us?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Have you noticed it before?
No.
Never?
No.
Are you guys from around here?
Yeah, I live right there.
Well, he just said this is completely normal. Do you agree?
The clouds or the...
Well, all the stuff that's being sprayed from the airplanes.
Oh,
See
yeah.
it?
That's vapor trails from the airplanes.
So you agree with him that it's completely normal?
Well, I think it's a cause of the high
Ice
altitude
crystals?
and the temperature up there and the vapor from the
But
trail. I don't know that it's all that good, but
he
I
just
don't know that it's bad.
he just said that one day you'll see. You notice how one day you'll see where you don't see anything,
Yeah.
and then the next day it'll look like this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he couldn't. He tried to say that that was because of atmospheric conditions, but he didn't know what atmospheric conditions. Do you have any idea why you'd be seeing this like this now, and then on another day you wouldn't?
I mean, it just looks like where flight paths have
But
been.
why are you seeing it now and on another day you don't?
You know what? I haven't looked every day.
But you'll notice that on some days you don't see it at all, right?
True. Yeah.
Do you have any idea why you might see it like this one day?
A temperature drop in temperature.
That's what-
up, a
that's what
higher
he-
altitude maybe.
That's what he said, but I mean, look at that. I mean,
Yeah.
why do you
Weather's
see
crazy.
that there now, today, and then on another day you don't?
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a
Could be
good
the way the
question.
wind's going. Because there's more planes flying over that way and the wind's going this way right now. I
Look,
don't know.
look at all this.
Could you get that same kind of question about the fog out there? Like why
Well,
that is?
that's not fog. It's dust. All of it's dust.
I don't know. I think it has to do with the temperature of the ocean and the temperature of the air that causes that.
Well,
It's haze.
well then what do you believe it is?
Well, the airplanes are spraying solid particles out of the airplanes.
Well, why would they do that? Or I mean, why would they, spend their time doing that? I guess.
Various reasons.
Yeah.
Well,
What's your honest
I'm
opinion?
more trying to just gauge people's reaction on this,
Okay.
and you should probably look into it yourself.
Sure.
I mean, but it is definitely.
Like right there, that's definitely a thicker particle or a thicker mass than what's normal. I could see like the. Are you talking about like the lower level right here?
Well, yeah. I mean, so look at that right there. The trail.
Yeah.
That's definitely from a plane. And then look at all the other stuff below it.
Yeah, like the below portion. That's not.
That's where
that's a little bit.
the dust particles have spread out.
Huh.
I mean, if you watch it, you'll see what I'm talking about. If you watch this, I didn't notice
There's
it.
pretty good books on weather and what temperature does and
Oh, yeah.
and into water
For sure.
Because most of it's all, in my opinion, would be water vapor.
But if you're gonna assume that, then you really have to take it to you have to really account for exactly what you're talking about, because
I mean, from what I know about studying weather and what climate does and what different temperatures do, like off the ocean and in the air, and when it's sunny and when it's not, and all that kind of stuff, makes me believe it's water vapor and normal. More than if planes are flying over intentionally dropping something foreign into the air. I mean, there's a lot more evidence for me saying that it's a normal occurrence in nature.
Let me ask you this: would it be possible to prove that 100% one way or the other based on scientific
Yes.
observations?
Yes.
So it is possible for it to be known whether it is a solid particle or whether it is
Yes.
not a solid particle.
Yeah.
It's possible to know that,
Yeah.
to find that out.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll
That's
see
my
that
opinion.
there's one. If you look really close, you can see that little thin line.
Yeah.
There's a plane. If you look
Right.
close,
There's a plane
there's a
in front
plane
of
in front of it.
Yeah.
And then
So there's a heat coming off the back of the plane which affects the water molecules around it and causes a fog trail behind it.
that would be condensation. That would be
Right.
condensation. Now, if you watch these things, you'll realize that they do things that condensation doesn't do. If you watch planes, if you just watch planes go by, you'll see that that some do things that condensation don't do, like that, for instance. I mean, like all that stuff sitting there in the sky,
Yeah. But those
and
are
just the color of the
clouds
sky.
and stuff.
And basically the overall visibility of the sky. See, like look
So
at
do you
that.
think a natural state of the sky would be to
Look
be
at that.
clear all the time?
Well, like I was talking with that other guy, he said some days it is, like a few days ago, it was completely clear.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
why
this time
was
of
it-
year it's crisp.
But if you
know?
look at like a
Visibility
view,
is-
an overall view from space of the planet, there's clouds all over the place in different densities, different shapes.
But these
and everything.
are obviously have been deposited somehow by an airplane.
But what would be the reason why they would do that?
Well, then we get into reasons.
Yeah, that's a slippery slope,
I'm trying.
you know, because then
Conspiracy
then
theory.
it just opens your mind up to you know that yeah.
But we come back to the basic question is, can you know? I mean, if you want to know, can you know?
That takes you into if there's a God or not.
Do
or
you
if
just
there's-
not wanna
or
know?
Why am I here?
I mean,
I appreciate that you're asking these questions. but
yeah. Well,
yeah.
I'm sure you'd be able to sample, you know, if you
Sample
had a
the
lab
dust.
somewhere.
Look
Sample
at the dust. That's. I mean, this is the same dust because I've been watching it. That's the dust. I mean, you can watch it. Look at your car.
That's also,
Yeah, my
you know,
windshield's
off,
got a
off of
grip
this
on
and
dust
off of
on
the
it.
beach when the onshore winds and stuff. That's sand and dirt and you know.
But you could
erosion,
test it.
and
You could-
That's not coming from.
You
the
could test
planes.
that sand,
Correct.
and then you could test the sand on the beach, and then you'd know, right?
Right.
Now, has anyone done that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would,
And what's in it that you know of?
Well, I could refer you to a website, carnicom.com.
What is it?
Carnicom.com, just the way it sounds, the way it's spelled. But the main problem is I've been trying to document this, and I mean, if you guys start looking into this, you're not going to like what you see. You're not going to like what you find out, and you're not. And if you start talking about it, you're not going to like the reactions you get.
Yeah. Okay.
so do you think it has ill effects on people?
Well, because a study just came out. You can look this up. The CDC. This was in the news that the mortality rates from lower respiratory illness just replaced the number 3 leading cause of death in America. Now, why would people suddenly start dying more from lower respiratory disease? I mean,
think it's an
could you account for
accumulation of
that?
Just the industrialization of the world.
But all
How
that's
much-
been reduced in America. I mean,
Yeah.
our
certainly
emissions have been reduced.
Well, maybe by a percentage, but not. I don't know. There's more and more cars out there, and there's more and more.
But the
as far
emissions.
as
But the
industrial-
emissions, they're clean. They burn clean now.
Yeah. Quite a bit cleaner.
Cleaner, but.
If you look at
still, and
footage
then-
back in the day, man, of LA, it was black.
They cleaned that up.
Yeah.
They cleaned that up.
Exactly.
How long ago?
What
Like
was
in the
that,
60s.
70s?
Yeah.
60s?
It was bad.
70s is what I was thinking with all the big ass
Basically cleaned it
cars.
up then.
Huh?
You know, so you really have to take a sample like 30 years from now to see. You know what I mean? Like
To see if the death
because
rate
you're still affected by that.
has gone up.
That, you know, because you grew up in that zone.
76.
So you could
yeah,
you could
well,
still be dying from it now, like the accumulation of it. And
But
it didn't just stop then. It's still
what are you saying? It's in my lungs
yeah.
continuously. They should get out of your lungs. I think your lungs. Like if you smoke cigarettes, they'll, basically, over the course of whatever it is, it starts to regenerate itself. So
The
heal
cigarettes.
itself. The
the-
lung. that
Yeah, but
is.
I guess my point is that there's a lot of reasons that could be besides
Yeah.
the lines in the sky.
But the overall effect, I mean, basically what you're seeing is literally smog. It's the same thing as smog because smog is just a solid particle suspended in the sky. That's all smog is. I mean, and that's smog. Look at that trail right there. See how it's breaking apart? How it has little stops and starts there? Now water vapor can't do that.
You think it stays in one spot?
Well, see, I mean, look at the plane going and see how it's just choppy. It's chopped up. I mean, that's because it's spitting chunks of particles out of the plane. If it's water vapor, it's just smooth.
I don't agree.
How could water vapor be choppy like that? How could it stop and start?
From that plane right there?
Yeah. See how there's some in the...
There's clouds in front of it that are causing that effect. See that broad thing in front of it? That's what's making it look like that.
Well, if you watch, you'll see what I'm talking about.
Watch it.
The airplanes.
Oh. You do put on a show, huh?
If you watch this, just
this
observe
one's
it.
it's thick and hanging out a bit more. So is that one, I guess. You know, which is kind of
yeah.
You think it would reach a lower altitude, and if it was condensation, burn off quicker, right?
Well, you can watch. You can watch.
Make sense? I don't know. I'm not. I'm being devil's advocate.
Just
right
watch.
Like
just observe them and see what they do.
Yeah.
I mean,
so what's
like get that. You can see the plane there.
Yeah.
And then all the little.
See what I mean? We've seen like at least 3 or 4 planes going across there, and you're asking why, so many going over. Just because that's a flight path, and there's more over the horizon where they keep, they're flying from LA to San Francisco.
Yeah, there's that one. See.
So I would say it's completely normal.
But if you
I mean,
watch,
it's not good because that's exhaust coming off of jet fuel, which is bad. But I don't think that there's any ill intent beyond that. Well, there's. I mean, you'd have to look at intent. Like why would they do it?
well, there's a lot of motives for that.
To try to control people, like with special dust.
Yeah.
That's a tough.
That's a tough one to prove.
That's a tough one to prove.
Well, it's a tough to prove.
Because there's got to be.
Well,
if you
of
look
course.
if you look at why any humans do anything, there's got to be either money in it or something else. Like because that would cost
motive.
a lot of money. Yeah. So
Well,
why would they do that? Just to get to spray onto unknown. Because if the wind's wrong, it could be out in the ocean. It couldn't affect anybody. It looks like if they were going to do something like that, I would put it in the water instead.
You ever looked into what they do put in the water?
Just what we put in the water on our own. It's pretty nasty. But yeah, I would go talk to the airport, see what they have to say.
Well, you can't. They just deny it. They just say they don't know what you're talking about. But anyway, that site is.
It's good that you're asking the questions.
Curious.
Thanks you guys.
I'm Matt.
I'm Mike.
Mike, nice to meet you.
Matt again.
All right.
Well, yeah. I don't mean to be brash or anything, but
No, you
asked
would
for
be
a reaction, so.
This is great.
Put on like change or to think outside the box, perhaps.
You'll see what I'm talking about. Carnicom.com.
Carnicom.
All right.